Okay, so we have a big surprise for everybody out there in Arduino land. Next week, we will be releasing the patches for an upstream camera driver that will first work on Uno Q, and eventually will work on Vent Uno. But it's really exciting because this is going to be one of the only upstream open source camera drivers available for Qualcomm platform, and it is a first, and it will be shipping on the Arduino platform shortly. And this is going to open a whole wide range of developers to work on our camera systems that we've walled off in the past. So really excited to see what the ecosystem is going to do, and then we're going to bring this camera support to all of our SoCs over time. It's going to take us a while, but we're really going to focus on the Arduino platforms first and get that enabled, and I can't wait to see what all the developers are going to do with it.
Essentially, it allows you to use the hardware ISP from a library in Linux.
That's correct. Yeah. So on Uno Q, it was a software ISP, which was it all done in software. All the processing was done in software. Essentially, what we're doing is now we're replacing that implementation with the hardware implementation, and then we'll be using a framework called Lid Camera and User Space. And if your users are familiar with Linux, they've probably heard of Lid Camera, right? And so this is going to be something that's going to allow the camera to work, in our laptops, on our IoT devices, on our auto platforms with almost no application porting at all, because it's the subsystem that's used in Linux, and it's widely deployed. So we're really excited about that.
That is great, guys. That is
wait.
Great work. So you mentioned an open source, right? So as you know, for Arduino, open source is part of our DNA. So we released Uno Q as open source hardware, but also we did the Up Lab, which is the new, development environment, which is fully open source software. So what do you think is the role and, meaning and value of open source at Qualcomm?
So I did a presentation this week called Releasing the Dragons. And the way I look at it is we have so much potential in our hardware that we're not releasing because we're guarding these castles. And this is the way that, handset companies had thought about this in the past because it's such a competitive market. But with IoT and what we're trying to do here, it's about usability first over maybe the precise performance use cases that we enable. So really, the idea here is to have this very usable platform and build the software that enables those users to be able to pick it up easily, design something with it, develop something, and go to production with it. And that's where kind of foundries would step in, right? And be that last mile to get them to production and take a prototype all the way to production and make it easy. Because what we want to do is enable people to build products, amazing things that we've never invented or even thought about on our platforms. And I think open source is a huge part of that. So when we talk about releasing the dragons, it's about open sourcing everything that we can to make the user's journey with our SoCs a really good experience. And so part of what we've been focusing on is the Linux kernel and the distributions. But now we're talking about the camera. Our next kind of endeavor is boot software, right? Because at the base of all of this, right, to enable developers to take chips from Qualcomm and build products, they're going to have to be able to interact with that low-level software and make the changes that they need. And so this is this part where we're going to wake the dragon up, right? And when we have a fully open stack that's going to allow developers to go take our hardware and easily deploy it and make changes, I think we're going to see the ecosystem explode, and Qualcomm's going to be in the center of it.